Hey there, we are back with another sparring breakdown, and today we have some rounds from our Dallas 2025 tournament, and we have Miss Graziosi over here, and we have Miss Amber Darling on the left. So this is point sparring, and they met once earlier on in the matchup, and then they met a second time, and each one of them won one of the two rounds. So we'll go ahead and break it down. Okay, so a lot of people in point sparring, and sometimes any type of sparring, will move forward a lot. And sometimes the more aggressive you are, the more you're able to be hit. Okay, you think being aggressive is great to score points, but sometimes you're going to run right into a foot. Okay, so Miss Darling right here does a double round kick. Boom. The second one, you can't really see it, makes contact with the head, and we have some formatting issues here. So just give it a second. Okay. So our perspective, that looks like a round kick to the body. But two judges are over here. Maybe the other judge thought it was blocked. Too bad. So sad. We got to wait for the judges to call it, right? Oh. Interesting. Okay, that is the way you're supposed to call a tournament. These two didn't have the angle. They're not going to call it if they don't see it. So if you're watching this and you're newer to judging, don't call it if you don't see it, right? So clearly, the judge off screen did see it and stopped the round, rightfully, to call a point. But no points, no warnings. Okay, so it's 2-0. So 2 for Amber Darling, nothing yet for Miss Graziosi. Okay, so again, double, triple round kicks. So I like the fact that this little exchange starts off and she's moving in a circle, right? She's not moving straight back. She does for a little while, but then she changes the angle, and that can give you an advantage in itself. So then, little round kick exchange, and now her feet are pretty planted. So she looks like a front kick or a twist kick. Okay, and then from there, round kick. Again, feet kind of planted, but her leg is still up. Second, third round kick. That one makes contact. So 2 points. I would have liked to see her maybe change the angle back, right? If someone has their leg up, all you can do is either run into it or run away from it. So run away from it. If their leg is up in the air, don't try to engage. So we're looking at 4-0 now. Okay, so again, what's the mindset? You can get real desperate and you can be more aggressive and double down and hope that you can just get past their legs, or you can be a little bit more cautious, be a little bit more defensive. We'll see what happens here. So again, kick to the arm is not a point, and a kick almost to the body is not a kick to the body. So let's go back here. We have some almost points, okay? We got this 2 points right here. So right there. That was really like to the shoulder, right? So that's not quite a point. That's another kick kind of to the shoulder, sliding down the arm. Not really a point either. That's a kick back to the shoulder. Not really a point, right? That's why we have our hands up. So that's a great job by the judges. Ooh, that was close to the head. But again, if you don't see it, this is turning into an example of good judging. Don't say anything. Don't call a point. Okay, so let's see what that last point was. Maybe a quick punch. All right, so 5-0. So now we've jumped into the second round between these two. Obviously, that's how our bracket works, right? If you win, you keep moving on, but eventually if you lose, you may end up facing the same person you've already sparred a second time. So we'll see if anything is majorly different here. Okay, so no points yet. Okay, so snuck that kick in just over the shoulder. So again, what happened more or less is Miss Darling chambered her knee but didn't really move away from the kick. And, you know, her foot's not really pivoted here either, so she's not really in a position to kind of push forward and kick. So yeah, that's a point. You know, you're hitting the upper chest, I guess you could say, the right side, and these two see it, and those two call it, right? Again, great judging. Again, I thought that was a point, but I have the same perspective as this judge over here to the right. These two can't see it, so they're not going to assume. It's okay. Again, almost kick to the head. Didn't call it. Okay, I don't think we could really see that one. Let's go back and try here. But again, it's the same old song and dance here a little bit. It's a double kick to the head. So again, you want to be careful how aggressive you are. I would like to see Zeta, who is really, really close on some of these kicks, double that up too, right? She's kicking to a lot of the same targets, right? Right around the shoulders. So maybe do a high and a low. So that. She's doing one kick and trying to go for the head. But if she doubled up and went down here, maybe she could sneak a kick in there. But she's kind of one and done. Amber's a little bit better at keeping her leg up. So now it's 2-2. So what did she sneak in there to get a point? Let's see. Punch. Okay. So she backed up, jammed it a little bit. Jammed it. Yeah, let the kick happen. Then she came in. So, okay, that's good. So leans away from the kick and then kind of follows the rechamber in and hits her with a punch. Boom. Okay, so no warnings, no points there. All right, so I keep rewinding a little bit too far here, but okay, so if you look at their feet, now that we paused it, they're both doing a bit of a skip, or they're doing a little bit of happy feet before they actually go to kick. So if you can learn to pick up these little tiny tells that your partner has, you can figure out how to counter it, right? So again, we go back, watch both of their feet here. They're sliding their feet together. Really, it's to cover more distance, right? They're trying to push towards each other. Yeah. And then get the leg up. So Miss Graziosi has her leg up slightly earlier than Miss Darling. And again, she's hitting her partner, but it's really not at an angle that these judges can see it. And this judge isn't really calling it because it is kind of on the shoulder. You know, it's not a real clean hit. You know, okay, so maybe they are catching some of it. Okay, so again, something that was kind of off the frame there. Okay, 1 point white. So again, let's back up a little bit. I think she's doing a better job of keeping the distance. She brings her back leg up. And then a little punch to the body real quick. So 4-3. So one warning there. So 4-4. All right, so next point wins. So again, can't kick to the face. Okay, we can go back to see the kick again. Bang. So it does make contact with the head a little bit and a little bit to the face. You see her headgear move, right? But your foot is how long? So again, if it's not a clean hit to the head, it's a warning. And that's a hard thing to see because they can't pause as judges. So I guess the judge to the right saw it as a warning. So next point wins here. Okay, and that was a good little hesitation there. So I want you to look at Amber's foot. I wonder if she's going to kick or punch. You know, so when you're on the toe, you're giving away a little bit of what you're going to do. So Zeta kind of backs up, and then now she steps down. So her stance is a little bit more neutral. Zeta picks up her foot, and the whole round she's been kicking to the shoulder, right? We've brought up in the first round, the second round, she's kicked a lot up in here, the chest, the shoulder, and then she hesitates. So her hand goes up where the kick has traditionally been coming to, and then she goes right below the arm. So that was great. Clearly, very close. I'm sure these two have sparred before. But I think to give them both some compliments, I think Amber Darling, again, did a great job with her double kicks. I thought Zeta did too many single kicks in that round. And I know these two well, so I assume that they will understand my criticisms or compliments at the same time. But yeah, I think changing the targets are really important because once you realize that your partner's kicking to the same place a lot, then you kind of get what happened there at the end with her hesitating and then kicking lower than she'd been kicking the whole time. I think if Amber, who was doing great with the double kicks, changed up her target, high, low, high, low, high, low, most of her kicks were going high, 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 right? And if you just block that one area, you can cover up a little bit better. And I think she got Zeta in the head quite a few times as they were sparring with that kick. So, you know, Zeta, make sure you're covering up your head there as she's kicking and double and triple kicking to the head. But, you know, let's go back a little bit to the first round. Yeah, maybe after this. So I think, again, another thing that they had some success with is once they got inside each other's legs, using your hands more, right? Jamming and trying to cut off certain angles or cut off the kicks before they could even happen is good. So that was a double kick, but it was to the same place. 1, 2, almost identical targets, right? And that might not have been a situation you could really do 2 different heights. But I would like to see different angles or different heights a little bit more. And that's going to frustrate your partner even more. Again, right there to the chest, same target. You know, haven't seen a ton of side kicks. And there's her double kicks and triple kicks, but that was all high. So that's what I was talking about a minute ago. So lots of round kicks here. I'd like to see maybe a little bit more side kicks. You know, that way you can control the distance a little bit more with your kicks instead of just your movement. But again, these two sparred fine. You know, there's nothing wrong with this round. It's not a testing round. They're sparring a certain way to try to score points, and that's what you need to do for point sparring, right? So obviously these were super close. The first round, you know, Amber Darling, I think, won 5-0. Yeah, let me go back, way back here. That's already the second round. Yeah, 4-0, 5-0. So, yeah, I mean, she had an incredible first round. Yeah, I think Zeta made some small adjustments. The second round was down to the last point, right? So, yeah, that's great sparring. So, that's a breakdown.